I research retirement strategy for a living, and right now, one date keeps coming up in every credible analysis I read: 2027. According to the Social Security Administration, the program paid benefits to approximately 68 million Americans in 2023. Changes scheduled to take effect over the next few years will hit higher-earning workers harder than most realize. In the next 10 minutes, you will understand exactly what is shifting, why it matters more if you earn above a certain threshold, and what questions to be asking before you make any claiming decision. Chapter 1. Why 2027 is the year that matters. Let's start with context. Social Security is not in a static position right now. The program's trustees publish an annual report that estimates when the combined trust funds will be depleted. According to the 2024 Social Security Trustees Report, that depletion date is projected at 2035, roughly 10 years away. If that happens with no legislative action, benefits would be reduced to about 83% of scheduled amounts. That is the long-range picture. But 2027 is a closer and more immediate inflection point. Two things are converging. First, the Social Security Fairness Act was signed into law in January 2025. That law eliminated two provisions, the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, that had reduced benefits for roughly 3 million public sector workers. That change is already being implemented. The SSA has stated it expects to complete most retroactive payments by the end of 2025. Second, the taxable wage base, the income ceiling subject to Social Security payroll tax, has been rising steadily and is projected to continue. For 2025, that ceiling is $176,100, according to the SSA. Based on historical adjustment patterns tied to the National Average Wage Index, analysts project it will cross $190,000 by 2027. Your specific tax exposure depends entirely on your earned income level and whether you are self-employed, which doubles your effective payroll tax rate. These two forces together, expanded benefit eligibility and a rising wage base, are reshaping the program's math for everyone, but they affect higher earners in a disproportionate way. That is what we are here to understand. Chapter 2. The wage base and what you actually pay. Social Security is funded by payroll taxes. Employees pay 6.2%. Employers match it. Self-employed individuals pay both sides, 12.4%, though they can deduct half. That has not changed. What does change every single year is the ceiling on which that tax applies. In 2024, the wage base was $168,600, according to the SSA. In 2025, it rose to $176,100. That is a $7,500 jump in 1 year. A worker earning $200,000 is now paying Social Security tax on $7,500 more of their income than they were the year before. For someone in that income range, the extra employee side tax is roughly $460 per year. That sounds modest. But compounded over a decade of similar increases, and the cumulative difference becomes meaningful, particularly for self-employed business owners who absorb both sides. This matters for your planning in a specific way. Higher contributions over a career do increase your eventual benefit, but not proportionally. Social Security uses a progressive formula, which we will cover in the next section. So you pay more at higher incomes, but the return on those additional dollars is lower. Your specific situation, filing status, spousal income, self-employment status, changes this math significantly. Chapter 3. How benefits are calculated, and where the changes hit. Social Security calculates your benefit using something called Average Indexed Monthly Earnings, AIME. It takes your highest 35 years of indexed earnings and divides by 420 months. If you have fewer than 35 years of covered work, it uses zeros for the missing years. That is a critical detail for career changers and late starters. Once your AIME is calculated, the formula applies what are called bend points. For 2025, the first 1,226 of AME generates a benefit equal to 90% of that amount. Earnings between $1,226 and $7,391 generate 32%. Earnings above $7,391 generate only 15%. These bend points are adjusted annually based on the National Average Wage Index. Here is the key insight for higher earners. If your income puts your AME well above that second bend point, and many six-figure earners are in that territory, the incremental benefit you receive from additional earnings or from years where you earned significantly more is calculated at only 15 cents on the dollar. That is by design. The system is intentionally weighted to protect lower-income retirees, but it does mean that higher earners are not getting back from Social Security in proportion to what they put in. According to the SSA's published 2025 formula data, the maximum monthly benefit for a worker retiring at full retirement age in 2025 is $4,018. That figure applies only if you have maximized earnings over a full career. Most workers, including many high earners with variable income histories, will receive considerably less. Your actual number depends on your earnings record, which you can review at ssa.gov. Chapter 4. Claiming Age. Still changes everything. None of the formula changes matter in isolation. They interact directly with when you claim, and this is where the stakes are highest. Full retirement age, FRA, is 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later, according to the SSA. Claim at 62, the earliest eligible age, and your benefit is permanently reduced by up to 30%. Wait until 70, and your benefit grows by 8% per year past FRA, a guaranteed, inflation-adjusted return that is difficult to match elsewhere. According to the SSA, as recently as 2023, the majority of Americans claim before reaching full retirement age. Many do so out of financial necessity. But for higher earners who have other income sources, a 401k, a pension, a spouse still working, waiting even 1 or 2 years past, FRA can add tens of thousands of dollars in lifetime benefits. The break-even analysis is worth understanding. If you delay from 67 to 70, you give up 3 years of payments to receive a 24% larger monthly check. The break-even point, where cumulative lifetime benefits equal out, typically falls around age 80 to 82, depending on your benefit amount. Your health history and family longevity matter enormously here. This is not a one-size-fits-all calculation. Chapter 5. What higher earners can do with this information. Let's bring this together. If you are a higher earner, roughly defined here as someone with consistent income above $100,000, a few specific considerations apply to your planning. First, understand your AME. Log into ssa.gov and review your earnings record. The SSA's own data shows that errors in earnings records are not uncommon, particularly for people who change jobs frequently or were self-employed. A single missing year of high earnings can reduce your benefit noticeably. Second, model the wage-based trajectory. If your income is above the current $170, $60, $100 ceiling and rising, you will be paying tax on more of your income through at least 2027. That is a known cost. Factor it into your net income planning. Third, consider the interaction with Medicare. According to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, higher income retirees pay more for Medicare Part B and Part D through the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, IRMAA. In 2025, individuals with income above $106,000 pay surcharges that can add hundreds of dollars per month to their Medicare costs. If your Social Security benefit triggers more taxable income, it can push you into a higher IRMAA tier. This is a layer of tax planning that many people miss entirely. According to a Vanguard analysis published in 2023, coordinating Social Security, claiming with Roth conversion strategy, can meaningfully reduce lifetime tax liability for higher earners. The logic is straightforward. If you delay Social Security to 70, you create a window, typically 62 to 70, where you can convert traditional IRA or 401k funds to Roth at a lower marginal rate. The size of that benefit depends on your tax bracket, your state of residence, and your total income picture. None of these strategies is a guaranteed win. Every one of them requires modeling your specific numbers. Disclaimer segment. Before we close, and this is important, I'm not a licensed financial advisor. This is general education, not personalized advice. Consult a fiduciary before acting. CTA. If this video helped you think more clearly about what's changing in 2027, subscribe to the channel. We publish new research every week specifically for people building retirement security in the second half of their career. It is never too late to make better decisions. You just need the right information. If you want to model your own Social Security scenarios before talking to an advisor, the SSA's free retirement estimator at ssa.gov is a solid starting point. I also use a planning tool I've linked below. It helps you visualize the break-even math we covered today. This video may contain affiliate links. I only recommend tools I use personally. And next week, we are covering a question I get constantly. How does a Roth conversion ladder actually work? And is it realistic for someone starting in their 50s? That video goes live next Tuesday. I will see you there.